Hi, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be identifying vertical asymptotes of rational functions. For this rational function, f of x equals 2 over x minus 3, we have a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. The reason I know this is because if I take the factor x minus 3 and set it equal to 0, then solve for x, I get x equals 3. Here's another more involved example. Let's find the vertical asymptotes for g of x equals x minus 4 over 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. The first thing that we need to do is to factor the denominator. Once we do this, we'll set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x to obtain our vertical asymptotes. I'll use what's called the AC method to factor this trinomial, where a is our lead coefficient, 3, b is 5, the coefficient of our x to the first power, and then our constant, negative 2. So we look for factors of a times c that sum to b. A times c is 3 times negative 2, which equals negative 6, and b is 5. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to equal negative 6, but would sum or add to equal positive 5. Those numbers would be 6 and negative 1. Since 6 times negative 1 equals negative 6, and 6 minus 1 equals 5. I replaced our original term, 5x, with two new terms, 6x minus 1x, that I found through factoring with my AC method. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll group our first two terms and our last two terms. We'll factor the GCF from our first term, which is 3x. That leaves us with x plus 2. And then we'll subtract we'll factor negative 1 from the second set of parentheses, which leaves us with x plus 2. Now we can factor our greatest common factor, which is the binomial x plus 2. And that leaves us with 3x minus 1, which goes in the second factor. Okay, now to complete the factoring process, we'll set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. So we have x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2 from both sides. That gives us x equals negative 2. That's our first vertical asymptote. Then we'll set 3x minus 1 equal to 0. Add 1 to both sides, which gives us 3x equals 1. Divide both sides by 3. That gives us x equals 1/3. That's our second vertical asymptote. So there's a basic tutorial on how to find vertical asymptotes from rational functions. I hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you next time.